Welcome to Marketing MASH, brought to you by themarketingscope.com.
My name's Jack Kosakowski, head of global B2B social sales execution. Sorry, I always forget that part. And I'm actually doing the introduction today, which is really super weird because usually my good friend here, Eric Vidal, who actually owns the company, you know what I'm saying? He's usually doing it, so this is kind of fun. But today we have...
Actually, I'm not the owner, I'm the chief content officer, but thank you, I take that.
Okay. Anyways, today we have kind of a fun little session, so...
I like it. Well, the title is 4 Reasons Your Sales Team Hates You and Your Marketing Team. I have a feeling you could think of about 44 reasons.
Don't get me started, because when I saw 4, I was like, man, we need to add 140.
So please let us know what we miss. Let us know. The first one, I think, and we talked about this, we did a video recently about it, was throwing leads over to the sales team to let them prospect, but not giving them an opportunity or an appointment set up through an SDR team or the marketing team. You know what I mean? Throwing just a bunch of junk leads. That's one of the ones that I try not to do, and I know because sales teams just hate it. They hate it.
I mean,
they hate it.
If marketing's there for a reason, right? I mean, marketing's there to help generate the right buzz and the right conversations around the brand with the right people. And if you're just throwing them crappy leads, then sales can do that on their own, right? Sales can prospect crappy leads, right? Yeah. So
what else? Anything else on your list? I know you got others.
I think strategy plays a big role in this because marketing, there's nothing worse than being in sales and marketing sends out an email campaign with messaging that you go, wow, this is not even what the buyers are interested in. The salespeople are the ones talking on the front lines to the buyer every day, while marketing, and no offense because I'm part marketer, are in their office and, typing content and, doing marketing strategy. Well, that's great, but there's nothing worse than seeing strategy that's disconnected from the actual buyer you're trying to sell to.
Yeah, or not being invited into the strategy meetings and being part of that process.
And then getting in trouble because you do something or your messaging that from the front lines is what the buyers actually want, that it's the value. You go off that messaging that marketing's created, and what happens in sales? You get in trouble. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the other one is the way, I think the way marketing historically has been measured, I think is another reason why sales hates, the marketing team. It's gotten a lot better, but in some cases it hasn't. And so
sales hates fluff. And marketers, I mean,
I got 10 likes, or we brought in 5,000 leads, but they were just high-level white paper leads. They weren't nurtured and turned into an opportunity.
We did a campaign with 100,000 impressions. Impressions? I don't even think salespeople know what an impression is or want to ever hear the word.
I heard someone, this is like 2 months ago, they used that. Oh, we got so many impressions on this program.
And they called it ROI. But anyways, we won't go there.
I don't think they did, but
Let's not go there.
I hope they didn't. I know you got another one, a good one, but here's, there's some of the small ones out there. And I know I'm going more than 4, but when I worked at a couple startups and I come in as a new marketer, and I come in early because the salespeople are in early. Some are at 6:30 because they got East Coast, we're on the West Coast, they got the East Coast to think about. Some are just in there early because they're getting ready for their day and they're prepping at 7:30, maybe 8 even. But marketers, a lot of times, they're strolling in. I'm from the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. They're strolling
9
in.
9 a.m., got their coffee, their smile.
Here's a little,
centric shirt,
And nothing worse than I'm watching them sitting there working.
2 hours later, they're going to lunch.
Come
back for an hour and a half later. Yeah. I mean, okay, we're probably being a little too hard on marketers, but you maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. The other thing is, it goes back to like how they measure for success. I mean, marketers tend to get away with murder, or they can get away with mediocrity. I mentioned something like that in an article I recently wrote. You're in sales. How long can you get away with mediocrity? Maybe 2 quarters at the best. Maybe 4 months. 3 months?
I would say you've got about, most organizations probably got an average of 6 months to figure it out. But yeah, it's the biggest problem ever. And the thing is, I feel like there's always that thing where sales complains about marketing and gets in trouble. Well, you're just not selling. I mean, and rightfully so. I think good salespeople, can figure out how to sell on their own without marketing. But what attracts a really good salesperson and what builds that trust for them is knowing that their marketing team is in it to win it like they are. Working the long hours, building the relationship, getting input from the sales team into the campaigns, giving visibility. I mean, all of these things all come down to alignment. It's so important. And we talked about this in our last video, but I don't think sales wants to hate marketing. I just don't think a lot of times sales understands marketing. I've been there. They don't understand how marketers think, right? Because there's not a really good communication. But if sales and marketing both understood how each other think and they were both tied to revenue numbers.
Tied to this similar or same number?
Yes, because if they both benefited and were incentivized, obviously in different ways.
Sure.
But if you have a marketing team that just comes to work, collects their $40,000 a year, $50,000, whatever it is, and they work 8 to 5, and then they leave.
Or 9:15 to 4:45.
Leadership and executives have probably, that's a leadership and executive problem because that means you're not giving your marketing team anything to work for or you're not holding them accountable. Yeah. And the only way that you can hold marketing accountable is by tying revenue numbers to the numbers that actually drive, their daily lifestyle. And then it forces sales and marketing to work together because they both know they're going to go home broke if they don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, all the things you bring up are great. And if you think about the points that we brought up of why they hate them, if you flip it and just do the opposite.
Yep.
And even if you're not in senior management, you're not the director or VP of marketing, and you can't make those changes if you're just somebody who's lower level, you can still do some certain activities to help bridge that gap. I mean, if you're not showing up at 9:15 while they're all showing up at 7:30, then that can help, just something small. But the other one is if you bring them into the strategy conversations or bring messaging and different things to them and ask their opinion, 5 minutes, engage with them, they're going to respect you.
Well, I know that our next video, the one that we're going to be putting out after this is, 4 reasons why marketing hates sales, right? So if you like this one, wait till you get to hear the flip side of this. So stay tuned for the next one, right?
Perfect.
That's it for this episode of Marketing Mash. You can share your thoughts by following us on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to our podcast to keep up with the show. And of course, you can always find us by visiting themarketingscope.com.